Now I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the line, this is your song.
And good evening, welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We'll be live every weeknight, and we talk about guns for an hour. So we'll see if anybody shows up tonight. Chat about guns. Got Ozzy out there. Good evening. Just got some kind of banana, barking at a banana. Throw a link out here. I don't think that's what the moon looks like right now, does it? It was half a moon yesterday, I think. I might not look right. So we'll see if anybody shows up tonight. You're welcome to jump in. Chat. This is supposed to be a conversation about guns instead of just some sales pitch or some sort of shaking your fist at the moon and complaining about, well, you can bark at the moon, I guess, but let's not shake our fists at the moon and just complain about status quo or the way society is. All right, if anybody jumps in tonight, we'll chat. Otherwise, I'm going to go turn off a couple of lights. All right. And we'll see if anybody shows up tonight. And now that it's cool out, I have no interest in just sitting here and talking to the wall. It's rained a little bit, so I could go out and do stuff right now. I haven't really been working on the computer, so I don't have anything open here. Yeah. Let's see. What else do I got open? Nothing. Just got one thing open, but for some reason it's got two little tabs down there. I don't know. Nobody's gonna show up tonight. I'd rather just get programmed. Here's what you're supposed to talk about. Don't tell us what we're going to talk about. Let's talk about what they told us not to talk about. Dog came over here. She's getting a petting. We're witnessing my dog petting right now. She likes it when nobody shows up because she gets an extra petting. She gets extra attention under this. Hey, let's see you jumping up here. Up, up. Let's learn something. Let's jump up here. Jump, jump, jump. This dog doesn't know how to jump. I told her off of people that burdened her or something so she wouldn't jump ever. Maybe they had some sort of an electric net, like an electric fence, but a net a couple of feet off the ground so she wouldn't jump up ever. I got her to jump on a rock one time. Jump, jump, up, up, up. Where? Here. Up, up, up. Up, up, up. What are you going to do? Can you come up here? Up, up, up. Come on. Up, up, up. All right, this is super boring. So I think it's just me and Ozzy. If Ozzy's even out there eating that banana. It says there's two people. So this is the thing. YouTube tells me how many people are out there. So I know. I'm one of them, right? You're the other one. Oh, she's drinking. She left me. All right. I don't even have my dog's attention anymore. So I'm not pushing nothing on nobody. I guess this will be a short one. It's super busy tonight. Day after Labor Day. Super busy day. Run around doing things that are super important. We were listening to music a minute ago. So it's like going from 100 miles an hour working on stuff. Oh shit, it's over here. Scrolling through. Just not playing them. Let's see. Let's read you get. Got a call from my daughter Saturday. That's interesting name, a daughter Saturday. Do you have 7 daughters? So that was a thing? Or was she born on a Saturday? Anyway, he was talking to his daughter named Saturday. She wants me to get my granddaughter, wonder how old her name is, a gun for Christmas. She will be 20. What the hell, Ozzy? How old are you? Your granddaughter is 20? In January. I'm thinking about a Glock 42. I don't know what a Glock 42 is. Is that a little 380? I don't know. That's a girly gun. So I wouldn't get that unless she likes that kind of gun. You're not supposed to mansplain guns to girls anymore. You're supposed to get them a gift certificate or go to the range with them and hang out and see what they like and then buy whatever they want. They like that. You're not woke, man. Buying a girl a gun. You're supposed to just go there and not teach them. You're not supposed to teach them. And let somebody else teach them. But you're supposed to be there with a wallet, I guess. Pay for the gun that they want. That's what they're looking for. If you just kind of pushed it on somebody, I still think that's too little. I don't know why people think it's fun to get a little tiny gun. I mean, little tiny guns are great if you're interested in little tiny guns, but that's like, hey, you want a Matchbox car? Like, would you buy your daughter or your granddaughter some little tiny Metro cars called that they used in that Italian movie? You know what I'm talking about? Them little tiny cars look like Matchbox cars. You're not going to buy somebody that just because it's little. Like, oh, it parks good. So what? Fits in your pocket good. So what? You don't want somebody who's never carried a gun before to forget they got a gun, right? Right on. Oh, you're older than me then. Be damned. We don't get too many older people around. And she is girly. So I guess that's, I don't know. But I don't know. I've hung around gun shops too much to see too many chicks come in. You can never tell. It's just like anything. Somebody said earlier, it's like buying, who the hell said it? Oh, I was listening to Riding Shotgun with Charlie earlier. And Jeff Quinn, right? His brother, Bogey, whatever his name is, said something to the effect of buying somebody a gun is like, what the hell did he say? Buying them a dog or buying them or giving them a wife or choosing their wife or something. Like, that's a pretty tough thing. So otherwise, I would go with revolvers. I don't go with the whole semi-auto for somebody who ain't into guns. It's ridiculous. Just because somebody's into guns and then they get so comfortable with them that semi-autos aren't even a thing anymore, that's just not putting yourself in the other person's shoes. All guns are crazy, but the revolver, or I mean, all guns can seem crazy, complicated, but the revolver, I think, has got that reminiscence to old. You know, it looks old. It's got the old mechanism. People kind of figure it out. Even if they don't, there's nothing to it. The interface is squeeze the trigger, period. You know, double action, only small revolver. I personally like 357s, and then you can put 38s in there. Anyway, because that's something they can use. It's got 5 rounds. Put extra rounds in speed strips, so it's not really bulky and huge. You're not asking them to carry around extra mags. If they like it, then they'll jump into real guns. And they'll have that as a cool backup. Grandpa bought them. But I'm not one of them people that just buys a new gun because it's small or whatever. Let's see. Otherwise, I have no idea. I think everybody that likes those things likes those things. People that hate them hate them. But people that like them have no problems with them. I don't think I've heard of any actual issues with them. It's a 380. I think the bullet's too small. Anybody that's familiar with guns, you can miniaturize your manipulations. You don't even think about it, but for somebody new, why would you give them the tiniest thing ever? give them at least the 9. Stupid caliber. But, I mean, like I wouldn't give somebody a tiny little gun. And then it's her granddaughter. Give her something that she's going to be able to defend herself with. A little, maybe can defend herself. James Bond can work with a 380 because he's all James Bond or whatever. On the other hand, these days like this, it's difficult to get a gun, so you might have to go with what you got or something. She likes the Bursa. I don't like Bursas either. She likes the Bursa Thunder. Who doesn't? The Bursa is like a squirt gun or a BB gun. But, the same way that maybe a competition thing isn't the same as a hunting thing. A competition thing isn't or a recreational gun isn't going to be the same as a defensive one. Just the shape of that Bursa, all its weird pokey edges and stuff. Can you imagine trying to pull that from a purse? And when we got clothes on, our clothes are there to serve a purpose. Chicks are always wearing complicated, stupid clothes to prove some kind of point. So they got elastic and straps and bullshit, shit hanging off of wherever, and beads and jangles and zippers and shit. So it's ridiculous to have a bunch of angles and jagged edges and stuff. That you're allowed to. You're not allowed to mansplain them, but you're allowed to shun them, right? You're supposed to. What's the word? You're supposed to. You can complain. You can man complain. Is that a thing? Man plane. Is that a thing? You can complain about their decisions, their choices. But Bursas are also heavy as hell, so no one's going to carry that around, right? It's too bad everybody craps on everything awesome that's little because it's not what they're used to, or it's not what they're going to get them views or whatever. So they crap on everything. But there could have been some really neat purse stuff. How awesome would it be if criminals didn't know what a gun looked like? They didn't know how a lady's going to defend herself. Is it that crazy button, or what the hell is that called? Like a brooch she's wearing, or some kind of pin, Or is that a gun? Or is that some sort of defensive thing? Is that thing on her wrist some sort of thing that's going to get me? Like, I'm going to have to leave all these ladies alone now because who knows how they're going to defend themselves. All right, well, I guess it's just me and us. It'd be a lot quicker if you just jumped in here and we could chat off here. So, nobody's listening tonight, but I'll leave it out there since I'm going to be wrapping this up, I guess. That we throw this link out here. This is supposed to be a conversation, not a programming. I ain't trying to change your mind on nothing. Maybe open your mind or inspire you to get up off your ass and do something. But I don't really care about doing this as a production thing. So I throw the link out there. We have a conversation. Nobody shows up. It was pretty short. But sometimes when we have the longer ones, people don't realize we throw the link out there. The room doesn't end when the show's over. So if you ever are watching one of these things and you want to jump in after, feel free. Mostly my Patreons watch this. So this is an opportunity to just get in and have a conversation about stuff. Now I got the hiccups. DJ just got here. We were playing songs earlier. Is it playing? Go back to anything. Double timing it, and I only had one that's queued up, but I guess I hit a playlist, so it's just running through every song in like double time. Kind of interesting watching the thing flip over here every once in a while in the corner of my eye. It's double speed. Well, it's not quite double speed, but it's sped up for sure. These are all off the same album. one might have been on the radio.
All right! Kill the motherfucker!
That's how we started the show. And then it's just going through.
There's a place in San Antonio.
No one. College people show up because they're going to try to narc on me for the songs. Yeah, pretty good. Yep. So then, yeah, I'm going to be on his show on Monday. I don't know what he's paying, but it'll be better than what I'm making on this show. But yeah, he said he was going to have me on the first Monday, but then he just went live, rogue, and had a bunch of regular people on. So next week, I guess he's starting with professional guests. See what that does. He's still being real elusive about his gigs, so I don't know if they're beating on him over there or what. Being mean to him. Yeah, in double time, so hopefully nobody is going to get mad at me. I think they go around getting mad. I think I played their song one time at the beginning of a show, and it got flagged. I don't really pay attention to this show, or this channel, I guess. When you make a YouTube channel, it's got to have an email address, and that means you either got to pay attention to the email address or not. And I don't really pay attention to the email, but that's the one that gets all the complaints and whatnot. So basically, they take away the money from the show when you play somebody's song, but this show, this channel doesn't make any money, so they're taking nothing. What's his channel like? Outlaw Hatfield. So you ever heard of the Hatfields and McCoys? This guy is one of the Hatfields. So he started hanging around in the Gun Channels days when there was lobbies and conversations that would go between shows. Like right now, everybody hates each other. So there's shows that will have a conversation, but then another show happens and it's a whole different group of people. And then the different conversation will happen. So back in the olden days, a conversation would happen over here, and then the same people would jump over here and have the same similar conversation and so on. So I think that's where his show started, doing after shows. I think we used to bitch about how there was nobody doing after shows, and he started doing. So somebody would have a show in this time of day, and then somebody would have a show in this time of day, and then he would have his show in this time of day, and then we have our show. So he does a show at 10. And it used to be just like interviews. He'd have people on, but then he started to sell out. I don't know what he did. I was on. I was on one, and I watched a couple. But I don't remember what happened to him. He ended up moving and losing internet. So I don't remember if they stopped abruptly or if he just phased it out. But he had done the show for a while. It was not quite a regular thing, but it was, he had done quite a few of them, but it was intermittent, I guess, right? Wasn't he always working? Or back in the day, he would like walk for like 3 hours to go to work and then walk 3 hours home or some shit. So he didn't have a lot of time to just fart around. And then on his days off, he would fart around. He'd be around hanging out and chatting and being on all the different shows and stuff, so everybody got to know him pretty good. But his show was, if I remember right, it was hit or miss, but I don't remember. All right, now there's 4 people out there listening to the Outlaw Hatfield. I don't know what happened to Jimmy. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. What month was that? It's some month back a long time ago. They all acted like they were going to get together and do a daytime show. They just needed to wait for this, and they just needed to wait for that. And then nothing ever happened. So I don't know. And I never literally heard anything from anybody. So I haven't got a clue. Keep playing with this box from this printer because there's got to be something to do with it. I think I got one idea, but it's right here though, so it's right in front of me. All right, well, this is super boring. I did not come prepared with a bunch of crap to try to hype or complain about. I just open up a room in the evenings, same time, midnight, every night. We talked about the calendar yesterday. I don't really feel like talking about that again today. I think it's just Mauser or somebody. So I guess we'll wrap it up. Nobody's really saying about too much. Thanks, Ozzy, for trying to keep it going a little bit there, and DJ showing up. And Jimmy is a dude who was from Chicago, moved to Phoenix, and then started hanging out in the chats. And then I forget when. At some point, him and another guy from Illinois, an old guy from Illinois, from lower, it's like mid-state Illinois, over by St. Louis a little bit. They would get together in the mornings and complain about the news. They would go look up whatever news was going on and swear about it. And it was sort of like a rowdy in the morning, like, I don't know, focus on the news, on 2A news. It was all gun news. So it was mostly 2A. That's the reason I paid attention. It was sometimes just plain old gun news, but they weren't looking hard for gun news. You know, it wasn't like daily updates on whether Remington was going out of business or any of that kind of crap. It was just, and it wasn't like fixated on, oh, look, here was a problem. Here's some guy that got shot, or here's some lady that shot a guy. So let's focus on that and focus on it until, you know, it's the only thing that matters. And that's all there is this one thing that happened, as if that's all that ever happened. None of that, really. It was actually pretty decent focus, I think. Just that they swear it all the damn time. Like you couldn't put a kid in front of it because they were like proud of the fact they were swearing and smoking. So it was like a rowdy show, but in the morning. So it was an interesting show. And like I say, if you wanted to keep up on stuff and you could handle a crap ton of swearing and being crotchety, they weren't super optimistic about stuff. Jimmy's a little optimistic. I don't think Tony was too optimistic about much. You can handle all that, though. It was a great insight as to what was going on in the world. It was every morning. I think they took like a morning off here and there when Tony had to do something with his kid or whatever. So they ran that for quite a while, and then maybe a year, half a year, I think. And then when Jimmy started having some issues, personal life type of real world stuff, I hosted with Tony, but I don't think Tony has any interest hanging out with me. I'll swear, but I ain't looking for opportunities to swear, especially not in the morning. But I also do not care about following the news. You know, run this show is an opposite to that. I really could care less. I don't want to be programmed with what they tell us is important, and I don't want to only focus on the things that they tell us to focus on. So it was interesting, and it was useful, I think, for me to be able to watch that. But you know, to know friends that are focused on that stuff and are interested, it was good to have somebody with their finger on the pulse. But man, there's no income there. They were just doing it because they wanted to, and they were enjoying it, and they had a bunch of people that dug it, and they were getting information out, so it was useful. You know, there was a good reason to do it. They just weren't able to do it. They didn't do it for money or profit. There wasn't an advertisement or anything like that. So it ended when Jimmy couldn't run it every morning. So what are you going to do? There's certain people out there, they won't ever come to this show because they don't got the interest. But there's people out there that do not allow individuals to participate like that. They think you need to do something to become special, to be part of a conversation. So they're not going to get a ton of support. Once you're, I don't know, meet some fucking level, and then they figure, oh, now you're deemed worthy of support, they'll throw support at you, but those guys didn't get it. At least financial support I'm talking about. They had plenty of people that liked the show. I'm sure they'd get a big following again in the morning. It's nice to, like I say, it was a useful thing to have in the mornings. At the time of year when I'm awake in the mornings. I thought it was great. So back, like I say, a couple of months ago, it sounded like there was some stirrings and somebody was going to be able to host it and Jimmy was going to be able to jump back in and kind of give it a shot in the arm. But looks like that didn't happen. Or else it happened and I'm totally missing it. But I don't think that's it. It was called Early Watch. Anyway, the better part, another part of it, or not a better, but another cool part of it was that these guys weren't doing it for some journalistic interest. They weren't like trying to be podcasters. They were doing it in spite of the fact they didn't care about all that stuff. They were willing to do it online, but they would have just as easily been able to, they would have just been just as interested to do it with 4 people watching on a conference call. But since they were doing it online, they ended up getting quite a few people watching the show, and those people were from all over the country. So when they would say, hey, I'm looking for information, because neither one of them had the time or inclination or skill sets to go find all the information or whatever, they created, or a thing happened where a bunch of people, I think, volunteered. I guess I wasn't there to see it actually happen, but from what I understand, they never asked for it. It just sort of happened, but people started to create channels called whatever, Early Watch Oklahoma or Early Watch Michigan or Early Watch whatever. And then those people, those channels would help out by sending in information about whatever was going on in their states. So that was pretty cool. And that was right towards the end. So as they started to get some momentum with people joining in on that concept, it all crapped out and it all ended. So I'm really hoping if they ever get it back, I was hoping, I don't think I'm hoping anymore, but I was hoping that they would have been able to use that system, that mechanism that they had created. It had happened in their presence, or they created a set of circumstances that allowed that to happen. It would have been a perfect mesh for Every Second Matters, the site, where if those people would have constantly been putting information in, they could have been putting information in not via email, which is what these guys were trying to do, because they were not computer fans, whatever, like they weren't forward looking computer people. They were using the computers, but they weren't thinking about how to build a system that can be used without their influence or without them. So they were doing everything with emails and texts, or I don't know how the hell they were doing it, but some old clunky fashioned way. But yeah, that would have been neat to see a bunch of people taking on, the zone or the state and then updating a portion. Yeah, a lot of potential there. But like a lot of things, whenever it's not coordinated with rewards and whatever consequences and whatnot, then some people just aren't gonna have the same whatever ambition for it. Anyway, so that part was really awesome. They had a lot of people on board to do that, and yeah, that was one of the waves of ambition. We'll see what the next one is. There's been others in the past, and that was definitely one of them. I'd say it's probably about, on a scale of 1 to 10, that one had about a 6, a 5, or it's going on to a 6 level of interest. There's certain things that get tons of interest and certain things get no interest. That one had some decent interest, and it was gaining more and more. It could have been a viable thing. I was betting on it. I would have put any resources I could into it. I still would. The people that created it, though, are all gone, so I doubt they'll all come back. I don't know if anybody's out there. There's only 5 people listening now. Probably none of them are out there now, but whatever. The good news is there's a lot of people, so somebody else will come along and pick up these batons that get dropped. As long as you don't bury your baton or smash it. Drop your baton and let somebody come along and pick it up and hopefully run further with it or run faster with it or do something better than whatever the hell your lazy ass did when you dropped it or you died or whatever happened and you dropped it. Or, we get a bunch of people that aren't passing batons that just have their little piles, their little schemes and their little friends, and then they do whatever they do for a little while. And when they crap out and they fail, everything just stops with them and they don't pass the baton on to the next people. Most of our history, though, is people creating things that get passed on and creating opportunity for the next. So I don't want to get discouraged or nothing. There we go. As he's saying, he was really watch Illinois. It was pronounced Illinois like that because of all the noise in Chicago. Knives was saying really watch is nice. I agree. Also, chocolate. Crump is out there. Good evening. And y'all can get over it. I don't know why y'all have to see each other. Y'all see each other in every chat. Get all touchy-feely all the time. So anyway, I guess I was about to run it out, but see, people watching now, so I don't know what's going on. Some kind of alert went out or something. Some sort of psychic alert. I don't know what the better word would be for that. Trying to hit enter on this. So again, this is a conversation. I'm not interested in just blabbing. I'll be ending it here quick if nobody jumps in. We're 32 minutes in. All of a sudden, there's 8 people out there. Let's see who they are. Me? That guy? That guy? That guy. So what are we on? 3? 4. We got 4 known individuals, humans. 4 humans. And that means there's 4. What are they? What are they? That's the question. So it's creepy. Y'all don't know what it's like. Oh, there's somebody. Okay. So that might be one of the other people. But it's creepy. It's like, here's what I feel like. I feel like attractive young woman taking off her clothes, minding her own business in front of a big giant picture window. And there's at least 4 weirdos looking in there. The rest of you people, I don't care. You can look at my boobs. The rest of these people, I feel uncomfortable with them looking at me. Look how as soon as you say boobs, another person shows up. The hell, internet. I did say chocolate. What's this all about? I catch the FUSPA show, Guns and Gadgets. What does that mean? You mean those are the shows that you watch? Crump, good evening. Oh, no, he was in here. Now he's out of here. So, I guess he said he was finishing designs for shirts and hats. No, shirts and stuff. There he is again.
Hey, what's up? Sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries.
No,
So,
I'm just getting ready to head to bed, and I saw that you were on, so I decided to come by and say hi.
yeah, right on. Designs for yourself or for somebody else?
Just myself. I designed my new patch, and that I dropped a pre-order for today, and I have some other t-shirt designs and stuff coming out shortly.
You
T-shirts, hats.
do you sit there with a piece of paper and a pencil and then shove them into a computer, or do you start with a computer, or do you
Yeah,
just
start with the computer, man. I just start with Photoshop and some other stuff.
So you start with an idea, or do you just start scribbling and let ideas come out?
No, I picture it in my head. And then I, use stuff like anything from Photoshop to Spark. Spark is actually a really powerful program that's free to Adobe users. And do whatever to start messing around, making designs.
I use Illustrator so much that if I'm going to start something, I start it in Illustrator because I figure or at least I should say, when I'm done with something, it's either going to be a patch or a sticker or a logo on a website. Usually, like I don't hardly ever just make. I guess I should say it, but I don't know. When I'm fiddling on a computer, I don't make photographs. I make photographs with a camera, right? So I use Photoshop, but if I'm going to start something, I'll start it in Illustrator because I figure even if I started it in Photoshop, I'd end up having to go to Illustrator and all the gradients and fades and stuff I'd have to try to eliminate anyway. So I just start without all that stuff.
Yeah.
It makes everything really cartoony. Nothing ever really looks real.
I'll show you. I'll show you something really quick. That I did. Let me find it.
So the FBC, like DJ saying, the 2A shows that you watch. You're talking the FPC show. Are you talking the Coffee with Craig, or are you talking the update show? Because I think they do a couple of different things on FPC, but I don't. I just see them in my feed. I don't watch them like on the regular. I don't know how the storms are going.
Clover was getting hit with storms earlier.
They're asking about Bob, our friend in Canada. He's just north of Montana, sort of like in the middle of Canada. So I haven't heard from him in a couple of days. Sometimes if you don't hear from a Canadian for a few days, it's because they're having some kind of weather that we're not having. Right on Knives, thanks for jumping in. Knives is a dude in California who lives walking distance from the beach. Got to go over and hang out at his place for a bit.
That's a iPhone case.
Right on. So this is what do you call it? Like for print on demand, right? Like
yeah, print on demand. So
where you send them those are pretty handy. You just send them the image, you adjust it, center it, and that kind of thing the way you want, and then scale it and all that, and then set it up.
Yeah, so I got that. And then my new patch is ready for pre-order. I'll show you that. But once I get it, yeah, and this is a new patch, which is up on my website here.
Oh, I thought you said that one was already out. That is the new one?
Yeah, that's the new one.
Or I should say that's the next one.
Yeah, that's the one. It's in production right now. Yeah, that's in production right now, and should be shipping by October 1st. It should ship way before then, but you know, 10 down out of 100. I'm doing like these limited patch runs now, where I will design a new patch and get 100 made, sell 100. Then, like I retired the old one, the no quarter for tyrants patch. Retired that one. The one I sent you like 4 or 5 of them, I think.
Right on.
If you haven't got them, you should be getting them shortly. You can do whatever. You can give them out, do whatever you want with them, trade them, whatever. And this is the new one. And then I got another patch right behind this one. Once I sell this one out, move on with the next patch. And just every 100, just get 100 made up, sell them out, new patch. Never make the old ones again.
Yeah,
and of course, all the proceeds goes to childhood brain cancer.
Your niece?
Yeah.
Yeah, we still need to chat because you wrote the book, Speaking with Giants, right? And then put the proceeds to her on that as well. But we chatted about, we need to chat about how that Amazon thing works. Because at some point, I'm going to try shoving some stuff on Amazon and see how it works.
Yeah. Everything on blackswantactical.com, all the proceeds from everything goes like my little side hustle. But now all the money that I make through there, which isn't a lot, but it is a little bit, goes to my niece. So basically everything on Black Swan Tactical now is going to my niece as well.
That'd be nice for her to know that people are out there thinking about her too, that she's not alone, and that like you say, if it isn't paying out the bills or whatever, it's an accumulation of a bunch of people pitching in and showing concern and care.
Yeah, it's really nice we were able to get her a puppy and everything else so far. Our goal.
A couple of bucks, I'll take this one here and package her up, send her out that way.
What's
Pretty
that?
I could take this dog here and package her up and send it out that way. It's used, but she's pretty good.
We got her one. That's like with her dream, her Make-A-Wish dream with Make-A-Wish and everything else is so backed up right now for the COVID thing because they can't do anything. It's just so backed up. We're not going to wait on that. She has about a year, so we're not going to wait. 9 months out of the year, we just do whatever. That's why I started doing this stuff for her. And the 280 community has been incredible. But I am going to hit the sack. I just wanted to say thank you for the patches.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. And I don't go over to my mailbox that often. I'll go over there whenever I go out again and see whatever's over there. They only tell me if something giant comes in anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Just thank you so much for everything. And the patches, it was great. I love that AK patch. I showed Clover the patch that I sent you, and he was like, I want one. I had one left, so. Like, well, you got the last one then.
I know.
I'll get you out one of these Crumpy Militia patches too when they come in. How's your patches going?
Which one?
The patch drop with all the ones from the different creators.
Yeah, they're it's 8,400, so they're shipping the first pack of them today, or maybe yesterday. I don't know. And then I guess we'll see. However long they got to make quite a few hundred of each design. I imagine they're gotta let them cook or sit or something. I don't know, dry or something after they're all done. So however much the process is. As they they're sending them in batches, I guess. So as however long takes to make another couple of hundred or whatever, then they send some more. So I'm in that process now, where everything's done. Now we're just waiting for the stuff to arrive. Of course, I posted a couple of pictures. I went large, eyes bigger than my stomach, or eyes bigger than my brain, I guess in this case. So I went large with everything. So shipping costs are quite a bit more than I would have expected. So that means they're going to be more when I ship them out too. If I factored everything was going to be $3, it's probably going to be more like $4 or whatever. So aside from that kind of dumbass learning curve, pretty good. Everybody got an opportunity for a bunch of different organizations to work together and see what it's like behind the scenes, just to chat with each other, but then to see how the project works and, facilitating crowdfunding and all that. Most of the people involved haven't done crowdfunding before, so hopefully it's a new skill set they've got a little bit of experience with now, a successful campaign to look at. So for those things, it's been a great success, really. And then it's kind of like fishing, I guess, or something. I don't know what to call it. We got to wait and see what they look like. Once they all get here, then we know for a fact, okay, good. This is I guess I'm being a little bit hesitant because last year they all came in and Tony Simon's patch was a little small, way too small, actually. I just didn't catch it in any of the proofs or whatever. It just didn't ever come up and go, oh, this is way too small. So aside from a weird problem like that, everything's doing real good this time. But we're still a month away from, not a month, probably weeks away from getting them out to everybody.
Yeah, it sucks that the 2A rally, by the way, is not going to be, we don't get to hang out again this year.
that's driving me nuts. Rob's saying he's heading out. Thanks for jumping in. But yeah, that drives me nuts. The first the gun rights policy conference shut down. I can understand like doing it virtual and right, like adding virtual to the mix because blah 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 or blah blah blah. But more than likely, well, I guess neither one of them is going to be before the elections technically. But you know, if the stuff changes or if somebody does, you know, thumb their nose to this whole thing and everybody follows them and all of a sudden things go back to normal, like now it's not possible to have it. You know, so in other words, if you were willing to scale it down and still have it and then everything changes and it can scale back up, great. But now it's not possible to scale up. So I think that was a waste. And then even if it was only a few people showing up, there's such value. There's so much value in everybody showing up and being in the same room for a weekend. It's not just for a couple hours, it's for a weekend. And you only have a couple of hours worth of stuff that you're really paying attention to. And the rest of that time is just productive evolution of Second Amendment. So yeah, the 2A rally was basically, a version of that. Hopefully it would have been better than last year for sure, because they would have had some experience. But seeing both of those go to just virtual is killing me. Like we lost so much potential there. I don't like it. But what are you gonna do? I can't make people do shit. What about Gunathon? That was supposed to be a couple weeks back. Is that going to happen in 2021?
Yeah, hopefully. That's the plan right now. But who knows? We wanted to move it to the fall, and we're like, well, let's just wait and hold off scheduling it until we can make sure.
Yeah, but at least it's still tentative. It's still a thing to be done if they can.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be done. It's just if it's going to be done next year or not, it will be done.
Obviously, it's too far out, but at least that's better than hearing, no, it's canceled completely. Because I think that had, again, the potential. Well, you went to Red October, too, so you're in a unique spot. Now, have you been to a gun rights policy before?
I've not been to a gun rights policy conference.
But you can understand. You get the concept. It's sort of like anything like SHOT Show, except that instead of being so stressed with stupid industry crap, it's really just a seminar. It's just people talking about their projects and what's coming up and what they did. So it's pretty chill as far as stress, but you get all that, Friday night, Thursday night if people show up early, Friday night and Saturday night, and then Sunday night if people stick around. And it's like having the night times at SHOT Show for just 2A people. So you can imagine how invaluable that is. It's fucking awesome. So you saw what Red October was all about, and you're kind of in a unique spot where you went out and chatted with the people at Red October overnight. So I went to Red October the week early, and then because it was looking so awesome, I went back the next weekend and experienced it. What was that, like a week before the rally? And you were flying out there, but I wanted to experience that Red October because it was so cool. It was an evolution of a gun show. It was the evolution of a shooting sports match. It was the evolution of a swap meet or something like not really a swap meet, but an evolution of like a SHOT Show, like a media presentation type of day at the range. So another
Comic-Con with machine guns.
Huh?
The Comic-Con with machine guns.
That's a good way to say it because it had a little bit of Comic-Con in it too. So yeah, it was definitely a different thing to explain, and it was an evolution of these things. So I was really looking forward to Gunathon. Gunathon, thanks. The year Gunathon, which was going to be its first year. I was looking forward to that, except that hopefully when you reschedule it, my only input is to urge you to make it a multi-day thing. Or if it's something during the day, the thing I hated about the thing I found most discouraging about the 2A rally was that they planned the rally and then they stopped planning, and they didn't need to do that. Like if in real life, if something happens during the day, you then allow other things to get planned for the nighttime and maybe the next day or the day before. So that's
Well,
what I would say is try to get Gunathon to be like a multi-day because
well, Genathon was gonna be there was gonna be a meet and greet dinner the night before that Friday.
yeah, right on. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Then that Saturday was actual
And then of course
Genathon.
people can stick around after, and then that way you encourage that whatever it's called, just networking and community building or whatever it would be
Yeah.
called. Because
Yeah.
like I say, that's what we're missing with this virtual shit. I'm all about virtual. I've been doing virtual since the beginning of virtuals. But I mean, crap, I remember putting in a room for AOL that back in the day I used to be more amazed by it. But when we first had all this chat stuff, when we first got the Hangouts back in 2012 from YouTube, wow, it was like compared to the thing I had set up for AOL when we first got DSL at AOL. We were on the network back in the day. We were on the internet, like on the main core of the internet, the AOL headquarters. But when the rest of the world caught up, we were able to put in this network or this we call like interconference calls crap, which is pathetic. It was pathetic compared to what we're doing right now. But back in the day, it was amazing, and it cost tons of money, tens of thousands of dollars. So anyway, this stuff is great, and I really like it. However, you just can't do what you can do when you meet up, especially when you meet up overnight. You meet up and let people get together. So.
Well, this is what Genathon was. On Friday night, it was in the meet and greet, and there was going to be like a dinner, or you can go get dinner, get food with your favorite YouTuber or whatnot, or into a personality. Then Saturday night was going to be the Gunathon, where you can go see the new guns, fire the new gun, whatever, and listen to two-way speeches. And then Sunday was going to be like several different people were going to be holding different classes.
Oh, I thought you said it was just going to be one day. So
well, the Gunathon proper was going to be one day, but there were going to be the Gunathon dinner, the Gunathon itself, and then there's going to be the classes leading off Gunathon.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm digging that because again, that's where, especially in the days of internet, the more opportunity, more excuses we get, more potential we get to get people together, then I don't know. It's just all that much more effective, right? I mean, this stuff is great, but it's about 1,000 times. What do they say? A picture's worth 1,000 words, and these chats are worth 1,000 pictures. But being in real life, it's just even faster. But here's the thing: instead of like back in the day, you'd meet somebody for the first time and be like, oh, "Okay, now we're meeting each other for the first time." Now you can meet somebody at one of these events, but you've known them, like you've known them for years, sometimes online. So you're hitting the ground running. You're not hitting the ground, with an initial introduction, and then you still have to establish all that. It's like once you hit the ground, once you actually meet up, it's like old friends meeting up. I've experienced it way too many times. I can say it's exactly like that. When you see people that have never met in real life before, but know each other online, it's like old friends meeting, and they have very little, whatever the word is, like, there's very little getting accustomed to nothing. You're just straight to productive conversation. So that's one of the things I really have valued in my experience over the years, paying attention to the community, is the way that these new events and new projects are gonna evolve and take us to whatever's next. But yeah, I don't know. I guess there's a goal, there's a silver lining to these things being virtual. And that is that they'll have to be virtual, and that's it. They don't have nothing else to rely on. So hopefully they won't fall on their face. I mean, we all fall on our faces. It's possible, and it's not like the worst thing in the world. But I want them to learn. I just don't want them to learn from mistakes. Does that make sense? Like I want them to figure this stuff out, but I wish they wouldn't have had to figure it out only, like without any backup or safety net, or without having people get together also.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Well, the thing I'm disappointed with about the 2A rally is a little sneak peek. I'm speaking at it, so I won't be able to I'm doing like a virtual speech, I guess. So I'm thinking about actually going down to the Capitol grounds and setting up a little live stream camera and just live streaming it.
I would. That'd be cool because you got the ability to do it right there, right? So It's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I'm thinking about doing. I'm also like a week from yesterday. I'm starting the pre 2A rally shows,
Oh yeah.
where I'm
What?
going to start having all the speakers on each
Okay,
one.
cool. I like it.
And so have a little hour-long conversation. Then we're gonna work it into Ammo Land, where I'm gonna write a little featurette or a little profile of each speaker and attach the actual hour-long interview as well.
Is there a list somewhere of the speakers already?
I don't think it's out. I just know some of the speakers because organizing the back end, Rob asked me if I would do it again like I did last year. I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. So, yeah, that's what we are going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got like 2 speaking engagements coming up, and I have another speaking engagement at another 2A rally that's near Richmond in like a couple weeks, actually.
A real one or a virtual one?
No, it's real. It's a campaign rally. Uh, it's called Guns, God, and Good. It's a 2A rally, but it's by a candidate for a Senate or Senate for the House of Representatives.
And when is that?
The 27th.
Oh, okay, so it's later on in the month.
Yeah, it's later on in the month. There was a candidate, a Republican, who talked a big game when it came to guns, but he wasn't exactly the most gun-friendly person. So,
Subjects. Are you going to the solutionary thing this next weekend?
no, I am not going to be there. Uh, one of the podcast hosts that I sponsor is actually helping out with it, Devin Perkins. So he's going to be there. I'm going to send him download some stuff for that, some stickers and everything else, some GOA stuff, I guess. But yeah, I can't make it. My wife is deployed, so I can't fly out for the weekend.
Oh. But that's another one that's somewhat less guns, I guess. Guns are a topic though, but it's more like other issues or whatever, like other.
Yeah, it's kind of it. The guns is a big part of it, though. If you look at who's all speaking, and it's found like Black Guns Matter. But yeah, so it's going to be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. Now, do you know if that's going to be live, streamed live?
Last I heard, they were still trying to work it out, so I don't know if they actually got it worked out or not. But I mean, I can find out.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Most of these things record because that's easy, but they don't always bother with streaming live. And
I mean, honestly, I don't think they are going to, but I could be wrong. But I mean, they got a pretty good
lineup.
lineup. Yeah, Alan West,
Yeah,
Olivia Rondell.
if I was anywhere closer, I tried looking over there to check it out, but I'm not going to drive across the country for it. I don't have that kind of resource.
Yeah, Mike Sedini is going to be there. Rhonda Mary, who's pretty cool. Gorilla and Guns.
Well, that's the thing. It's just from the speakers. It isn't all gun stuff. It's like like he calls it a solution. Did Maj set it up?
Yeah, Maj set it up.
I mean, it's called solutionary. That's his word or whatever. But that's a good word because it's just looking at things pragmatically or whatever, like looking at things as opportunities instead of whatever problems. And so it seems like it's on economics, and
Yeah,
it's going to be other things, but like I don't even know all the topics, but guns is one of them. But that's why I figured it'd be interesting to go check it out, because pretty much everything I always do is all guns only. And I'm
well,
typically surprised, well, pretty much always surprised whenever I go look at something, because I don't look at stuff from other angles. I'm not really thinking about it from other angles. So I usually appreciate that kind of insight.
well, if you look at like Olivia is going to be at there. Olivia Rundell, from the Daily Caller. She was actually on my show. She's not really a gun person, but I mean, she's definitely pro gun. She's just she's just going to know a lot about guns. And she's going to be there. But then you have people like Kevin Dixie, who's a big gun guy, like Argo J, Mike Sedini. I think Mike Sedini's going to be talking about mental health. Antonia is going to be out there, for example, and she's big into guns. So there's going to be a lot of gun people there, but it's not all just guns. Like Wayne Dupree is definitely, he's not a gun guy. I'm pretty sure I think he owns guns, and I think I know he's pro gun, but he's not a gun guy. And the Alan West is, he owns guns and shoots guns and everything, but his main focus is that guy. He is the head of the Republican Party of Texas now. But yeah, just like looking over, I mean, I know a lot of the speakers there, and they're pretty good. Like Rhonda Mary is another good speaker that you probably haven't heard of. So, yeah. I know you're like more gun focused, where I'm kind of in my toe is in guns and also politics. So I know a lot of these people. So it's going to be a very good, very good
cool too, because it's not doesn't at least I don't know. I guess it's possible that there's promotion for it or advertising for it that I haven't seen, but the stuff that I've seen doesn't look political party, like doesn't look one or the other, or pro one or the other, anti one or the other.
well. It doesn't, but if you look at who's speaking,
that's what I mean. But they all got that, same core ethics, I guess. So hopefully it'll be a good, what's the word, like sugar with the medicine. Like hopefully it'll get through to people, because somebody's saying things that are correct that doesn't get through. Might as well have not even said nothing, but being able to get through is the thing. So with all this political hype and everything, hopefully something that snippets from this event will get rebroadcast out there more than, I don't know, like if the same person would have spoke at the NRA convention, let's say, right? Like they would have gotten oh look, they were at the NRA convention and not even talked about the speech, where now hopefully they'll talk about the content of their message a little bit more.
yeah, we'll definitely see. I like mixing it up. I mean, they're not all conservative, and it's know that 99.9% of them are who are speaking. We're going to be there and speaking. I think the other 0.1% is like libertarian. So.
If Antonia goes to something, half the time it's a Republican thing, like literally a Republican thing, like hosted by the Republicans or something. Where when Maj goes to something, he might have been to a Republican thing before, but you know what I'm saying? He doesn't just back whatever Republicans say or nothing. So
no, I mean, Antonia is more libertarian than Republican,
or just whatever. I get the impression he doesn't pin himself down. That's all I'm saying. So hopefully that'll get through to people.
Maj will go anywhere. It's just he usually ends up going to like conservative and libertarian things, because he has a pretty strong political stance against stuff like socialism and stuff like that. and statism. So he doesn't really get invited to a lot of like left wing things.
Yeah, those the strictly one party
Yeah.
speech, one party mind.
Yeah, because he's more of he considers himself a conservative, a libertarian type person. You know, against big government, against government regulations and stuff like that.
Those are good things to be against.
Yeah, but there's some people that's not.
All right, man. Well, you tried to get out of here earlier, and I kept you
Yeah.
for 20 minutes, I think. So thanks for jumping in.
No problem. I just wanted to thank you for the patches.
Yeah, you bet. And I'll post links or pics when I get whatever. Well, like whenever I get over there and check stuff.
All right, that works for me. Did you get the patches I sent you? I sent you one and with the book, then I sent you an envelope with more. Oh yeah, you said you didn't check your. Was it
No,
there?
I haven't been over there in forever. I don't even remember the last time I checked mail. Probably when I got back. So it's been a week since I got.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thanks again. With that, we're about an hour or something in. There's people out there, but nobody's really been saying anything. So again, this is a conversation, not a show. So with that, I will be back to pick you up later.
Right. I will see you.